Hi everybody! So today we're going to be speaking about perfumes again. And what I wanted to dedicate this video to is fragrances that smell much pricier than what they are in fact costing. I think it's a very nice video to throw out there, mostly because we all have different budgets. Some of us are on the spectrum where we can afford whatever we want, and some of us are on a more restricted fragrance budget because, well, it is definitely not an expense that is a necessity. Although, in my experience, unfortunately, the price and the quality do correlate quite closely in terms of fragrances. I also have found really terrible fragrances with pretty bad quality and horrible aftertaste within the niche segment and the luxury segment of the fragrance market. However, there are some perfumes out there that certainly not only are worth their money, but in fact, the value that you get, the quality that you get from the fragrance far exceeds what you're actually paying for it monetarily. So I think I've filmed this video a couple of years ago for the first time, and this is really an update. I have quite a few new fragrances in this little menage, but some of my old favorites really stayed, and I am mentioning them for the second time at this point. So previously I talked about a few celebrity lines that actually are high quality. And there are not a lot out there, unfortunately. It's a little bit upsetting because I always want to love celebrity fragrances, but most of the time they are quite disappointing. I do have to mention Lady Gaga's Original Fame. That is a lovely fragrance, and I will probably buy it at some point in the future, but I don't have it on me right now. Previously, I've spoken about Sarah Jessica Parker, lovely. However, since my last video, I really have changed my mind about it. I think the quality had changed. I think years ago when it was initially released, the quality was different from what it is right now. So that fragrance didn't make it into this video because, well, I think it's not worth it at this point. So the reformulated version, it really just disappoints me endlessly. However, Covet, and this is the original version. I don't know if this has been reformulated. Perhaps if somebody knows, you can let us know down below. This is Covet by Sarah Jessica Parker. And I actually think this is a much more interesting fragrance than Lovely is. This is such a jam. It's wonderful. My little guy lost the cap from the perfume bottle, but I'm, as you can see, really actively using this particular fragrance. It is gorgeous. The composition is definitely of at least luxury quality fragrances. I'm really hoping they didn't reformulate it because it wouldn't be applicable, but I believe that it's still the same scent. And this is a very sophisticated grown woman, slightly powdery, slightly chocolatey, but not at all sweet or girly sort of a scent. I will definitely film a separate video on it because I think the fragrance deserves it. So I'll put it aside and make sure to film it pretty soon. This is super affordable. It's very beautiful in terms of the formulation. And look out for a video regarding this fragrance because I definitely want to talk about it in detail. I love this bottle, and I'm really a little bit nervous about buying a new bottle because I do feel like it could have been changed, but we shall see. I will report back when I replace it. So far, Sarah Jessica Parker Covet is probably, well, no, definitely my favorite Sarah Jessica Parker scent. I think very much worth it. Then I have, shockingly, two celebrity fragrances from Taylor Swift. In fact, I don't like Taylor Swift as a singer. I don't enjoy her music, so this certainly has nothing to do with her as a persona or as an artist because none of that really appeals to me. However, the fragrances she comes up with, or not her, I should say her team, I think she's got something going there because I have two from her fragrance line and they're both extremely interesting. This particular guy is Taylor from Taylor Swift, and I don't mind even the packaging. It's a little whatever, but you know, some people might really enjoy it. I think it's not bad. And what can I say about this guy? This most certainly is not quite a direct 100% dupe, because those are really hard to do in fragrances, but basically not even a cousin, a sister of Burberry Woman. If you enjoy the classic Burberry Woman with its dried fruitiness and a little bit of powder, or a lot of bit of powder, Taylor is right up your alley, because it's very much within the same realm. And quite honestly, probably most people would mistake Burberry Woman for Taylor, and vice versa, depending on what you smell more, I guess. So if you enjoy Burberry Woman, go get Taylor. You get much more for your bang for your buck with this particular fragrance. And this is like nuclear. It holds onto the skin, it holds onto the clothes for days. It really lasts, and I dare say it lasts better than Burberry Woman on me. So Taylor probably trumps Burberry Woman in my opinion in terms of quality and longevity. It does need to be dosed fairly carefully because the fragrance is powerful. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is Taylor Swift Incredible Things. I actually like the design of this. If you look closely, obviously, you're going to be disappointed in the cheapness of the bottle, because it is a sticker over here. It'd be much nicer if they printed on the bottle, but that would be far more expensive. However, from far away, I think the bottle looks really nice, springy, and the fragrance itself is not so much spring, but it is quite a beautiful scent. I would totally recommend this elegant number to those of you who are interested in interplay of masculine and feminine, and perhaps adding that tiny drop of masculinity into your fragrance to create a more present, more complex aroma. This guy is so interesting to me. Again, I will be definitely filming a separate video on this. And it has the little waft of, you know, I've just spent the night with a sexy stranger, because the slight touch of masculinity on that base of wonderfully elegant, beautiful, beyond reproach sort of scent, it's a little bit picante because of that. I'm not saying it smells spicy, but I'm saying it just has that slight suggestion, and I find that extremely attractive about the scent, and it's just the right amount. Very suggestive, and I actually quite enjoy it. I think this is a very versatile scent, easy to wear, and very easy to pull off in most life circumstances. So kudos, I think, good job. Definitely will be speaking on this scent separately. This one is not a new one to you if you've been watching my channel. This is Fancy Love by Jessica Simpson. I've been using this since it released. I think Jessica Simpson's line actually has lots of really fun scent. There is a very sweet scent. There's a patchouli-based scent in a green bottle that is quite interesting and earthy. This is probably my favorite because I'm such a big fan of Burberry Woman and the way that that composition really plays on that elegant sophistication, powderiness, slight fruitiness, very classic scent. This really, I mean, both of them aren't dupes, but are very close relatives of Burberry Woman. So whichever one you see, I think would be worthwhile getting. Fancy Love is a little bit softer and sweeter. Taylor, because of the concentration most likely and a bit more powder in it, can come off as a little bit more aggressive and direct. And some people really like that, especially if you like a long wear. But Fancy Love has very decent wear. I would say about the same as Burberry Woman. And it has a little bit more softness. It's slightly more fruity and a little bit more sweet. But in general, I think all three of them, including Burberry Woman, which I currently do not have in my collection at this moment. I finished up a bottle probably about a year ago and hadn't repurchased yet. Anyway, Fancy Love deserves a place in your collection if you like the powdery, peachy, soft, and just comfortable fragrance. I think this one's also super wearable, as is Taylor. The next two aren't celebrity fragrances, but I do find that you can get them at a very reasonable price. So it still falls within the reasonably priced category to me. First and foremost, this guy it goes on sale often. So I do think that it's worthwhile mentioning. This is Lolita Lempicka, if you wouldn't have recognized. Of course you would, because this is such a classic. If you're into fragrances at all, you definitely know this scent. So this airs on the side of, yes, there's some sophistication there, but it is a sweet scent. Today it's actually on me. I don't know why, but I had a compulsion to wear it today. And here we're talking about this anise-based licorice sweetness with a little tang and also some patchouli. It's a very grounded scent. There's powder in it as well. For some reason, lots of these contain powder, powder-like note at least. And Lolita Lempicka is just a lovely choice. You can layer it up for a more evening feel. You can wear it lightly for an everyday sort of style. And I do think that it's very much worth your investment, especially lots of people really enjoy the fun bottle. It is not my style, but I do recognize that it's actually a well-made, nice bottle. So certainly probably would look nice on your nightstand or on your vanity. I recommend obviously keeping your fragrances in your drawers or somewhere where they're away from light and heat, which is what I do with my fragrances. I'll show you sometime how I store them, but definitely have to say that this is a worthwhile fragrance, especially if you see it on sale. I think as long as you like sweeter scents, you will probably enjoy having this in your collection, no questions asked. So go for it if you see it being sold on sale. The newest addition to my collection and the most recent purchase that I'm going to mention today is a MAC fragrance. Surprisingly, the price point on these is not unreasonable. I think it's for the quality that you're getting, and I haven't tried the entire line. I tried maybe 3 scents total, and I purchased one. I think the quality is there, guys. So I do suggest that if you're interested, you should go and check out their fragrance line because it is really not bad. I think it smells like it's worth much more than what you're actually paying. So this is MAC Creme de Nude, and this also is quite a sweet choice, which I don't normally go for because I don't necessarily want to smell like a child or a teenager. I really dislike the sweetie fairy dust sort of scents that they smell childish, infantile, and they don't create basically the impression that I would like to create with my fragrance. I am a professional woman, mother, and wife, so I certainly do not want to smell like I'm 16. I'm gonna go party. So okay, stepping back, I think MAC Creme de Nude is really a nice interpretation of a very sweet scent. It's very amber based. If you like ambery fragrances without the metallic note in it, lots of them have that slight metallicized aftertaste, which I do not like at all. This is a soft, slightly confectionery, but still sophisticated scent that is ringing true for somebody who is going to enjoy quite sweet fragrances. It isn't something I personally would wear to work, but you definitely could. You could dose it up and wear it for a night out for sure. And my husband really enjoys this scent as well. Let's not rely on him because he tends to like anything super sweet. So he definitely liked it, but he did say that it did smell quite sophisticated. And I agree, it does, given the type of a fragrance it is. The amber in here is really an adult, beautiful amber, well crafted, good formulation. I would suggest you go and check the entire line. I certainly will in the future. I haven't had a chance to really pull myself together and go smell everything, but Creme de Nude really appealed to me on a level that is usually outside of the realm of what I purchase. I don't tend to get super sweet amber-based fragrances. It's certainly not usually my taste. However, when I smell excellent quality, I definitely go for a sweeter scent when warranted, and I recommend this one for sure. And I think it's fairly affordable. Scratch that. Definitely affordable for what you're actually getting. It wears well. It wears into a very soft, very dig your nose into somebody's neck, somebody you like, somebody you're attracted to, I should say. That is the kind of like the skin scent that it wears down into, which I find really appealing in those sweeter fragrances because smelling like candy isn't something that I particularly enjoy, but this smells like eye candy. So it's a little bit of a different twist on the genre. So if you like sweeter, sophisticated scents and you're in a bit of a budget, I think MAC will satisfy you. They also have quite a bit of a selection. They have fruitier options, fresher options, etc. So check the line out. Creme de Nude was definitely my pick from the line, at least for now. Let us know below if you have any suggestions for affordable fragrances that smell fantastic. Affordable fragrances that are sophisticated, beautiful, elegant, that have quality, that have interesting compositions, that smell like they cost more than they do. These are my options. Let me know if you agree with me on the stuff that I picked, and let us know all below if you have any suggestions for trialing any of the other affordable fragrances. I'm sure it would be very exciting for us all to know what you guys think about it, because it is more of a collective fragrance brain that we have going on here. But that's it for today. Have a wonderful day. Good luck and all the best. Bye.